Do you know you could have kidney disease and not even know it? 9 out of 10 people who have stage 3 chronic kidney disease do not know it. The rate of kidney failure for African Americans is 3 times higher than among Caucasians. And one reason for this is that they are not aware when they have earlier stages of kidney disease, at a time treatment could prevent the damage from progressing to the point when dialysis or kidney transplantation is necessary. In addition, due to high rates of diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease, Blacks and African Americans have an increased risk of developing kidney failure. African Americans need to be aware of these risk factors and visit their doctor or clinic regularly to check their blood sugar, blood pressure, urine protein, and kidney function. Be aware. Get tested. The life you save may be your own. For more information, contact urbankidneyalliance.org.
You know what time it is. Marvin Devine, Hoover, Axel, and you know how we do. Yeah, I got the juice, yeah, I got the juice. Whip game cool, make them look like cool. Always play it cool, that's the biggest rule. Forget what they doing, keep on doing. I've been making loot since like 22. Ask me how I made it right here in the booth. I'm always pursued cause of what I pursue. That's greatness, yeah, I gotta make it, I got things to lose. Boy, wanna get in my crew, but you can't get in my crew. Me, XL, and Hoover, way too firefull. When this joint drop, better call the troops. And when you hear the drop, better raise the roof. Better raise the roof. You already know what happens when we link up. Let's go. Yeah.
Brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Cody's brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, 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 ride or die. Cody's brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta ride or die.
Y'all ready for this? Yeah.
This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 and the kidney one. Not my girl, and say, this is.
This is Coach Crossland. And I want to make sure now, you hear me? Because we are going to win this thing. We're going to win this fight. We're going to win, fight, right? We're going to take our binders, right? Right. Yeah. We're going to not skip treatment, right? Yeah. Right. We're going to make sure we get the dialysis, right? Yeah. Right. We're going to do what we need to do to feel better, right? Right. We're not going to get any fluid overload, right? Right. Now that's what I'm talking about. Team. That's right. Warrior kidney, warrior transplant. 1, 2, yeah. Woohoo! That's right. Do your thing. Why? Because this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. Hi, guys. Happy Sunday. We got some goodies for you tonight. That's right. I said it. An excellent, wonderful show, right? I'll drink to that. To God be the total glory. All right. If you're still wanting to do arts and crafts, I got these new colorful clothespins, and they are excellent. So do not forget about that. Right? And quickly, I got the Gut Zone. You know, I posted it, and this is a very good book. All right, to get your digestion together. And here we got also the Gourmet Renal Cookbook. You see, I still got recipes that I'm going to post on the page for you guys. And we got the Renal Diet Plan and Cookbook. Yummy, yum. So you guys get it out there, get it together, talk with your nutritionist and stuff like that. Let's get this show started. Right? Shando, fantabulous, because that's what you are. Let me introduce my fantabulous guest. Man, her name is Safiya Raheem. She's a director of the Community of Government Affairs with Live On New York, here in New York, where I am from and where I live. So we going live right from over there. How about that? Oh, yes. Welcome to the show, Safiya. Come on here. Welcome.
Hello, how are you? Happy Sunday.
Yes, happy Sunday. I am alive and kicking and so glad to have you. So glad to have you.
It's the pleasure is all mine. So happy to be with you this evening.
Wow. I love where you work and how you work. And I love that place. I loved when I was a volunteer and had to sign people up and motor vehicles and everything. I appreciate even working with you now with Rise Up East New York, where I work now. So I thank God for you. And I'm just glad you're on the show tonight to tell all these wonderful people the stuff you do, the things you're doing, and which way we all going. How about that?
Absolutely. Thank you. So Live On New York, we are the organ procurement organization for the greater New York City area. So what that means is that when people are experiencing organ failure and they need a new kidney, a new liver, a new heart, we're the organization that works with people who have expressed their final wishes that they would like to be an organ donor. And after they have passed and they have made that donation, we recover the organs for transplantation. So my department that I work with is Community and Government Affairs, and we are charged with really creating awareness around the need for organ donation, organ, eye, and tissue donation, and helping people to overcome the hesitancy that they have around it. by clearing up myths, misconceptions that they may have, so that when people make decisions about their final wishes and whether or not they want to be a donor, that they are making that decision based on accurate information. So we consider ourselves advocates for the people who are on the waiting list, and we are community educators to shed light on this very important topic.
Wow. Wow. Now that's wonderful. That's good. And you guys do such great things. I mean, I've been to some events and different stuff like that as well. What I wanted to ask you, what did you do before you took this particular job, if you don't mind?
Sure. I have had a number of different career paths. Once upon a time, I was a public school teacher. I've also worked for a literacy nonprofit. I have been a lobbyist for nonprofit organizations who are trying to get government funding to run their programs. And I've also done consulting work with small nonprofits to help them with their fundraising.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So when you did these type of positions, what made you go into a position that would help somebody to get a kidney or help somebody to get on the list? I mean, what prompts you to do this?
So I come from a family that has always been civic minded. My family, they've always been activists, and it was very important to me that no matter what I did in life, that it really meant something to someone. You spend so many hours of your waking day at work, and I always knew that I wanted a job where what I did, it meant something to someone. And so what greater thing can you do than to deliver the gift of life to someone who's looking for that second chance? So wow. I consider the work that I do to be extremely important. As I mentioned, we consider ourselves to be advocates for the people who are waiting for that life-saving transplant. And I get to go out into the community and talk to people about how important this issue is, especially in communities of color. The vast majority of the people on the waiting list are people of color. In the greater New York City area, 75% of the people waiting are people of color, and Black people as a racial ethnic group, we are overly represented on the waiting list as people who are waiting for a life-saving transplant. So I really see this as a calling to help all New Yorkers, but also to help people from my own community.
Mm. And that's beautiful. That's great. You know what I mean? Some people, they talk about it, but you seem like you be about it. You know what I mean? Some people are willing to get in the trenches, get their hands dirty, do what they have to do to get this thing across. So I'm glad that you're glad. I mean, you're smiling, you're beaming, you're on fire, so I do appreciate that you're doing the job that you do, because it's not always an easy job. Now, what would you say, what is the toughest thing about your job, would you say?
The toughest part is that we ask people to consider what their end-of-life wishes are when we ask them to sign up to be an organ donor. And even if they don't want to sign up on the registry, to have conversations with their loved one about this topic. Mm-hmm. For a lot of people, it can be a difficult conversation. But I'm still motivated to do what I do, because I know at the end of the day, I'm helping to save lives. So it's very difficult to get people to think about these things. I always joke that organ donation is, no one ever wakes up in the morning and they Google, mm-hmm. organ donation unless you're directly affected by it. So getting people to think about something that they normally, they don't think about in their day-to-day life is very difficult. And because of that reason, because people don't normally think about it, there are a lot of myths and misconceptions out there around the topic. The biggest one that we hear out in the community is people are concerned that if they sign up to be an organ donor and they are admitted to a hospital, with a life and death condition, that doctors in the hospital or the medical staff in the hospital are not going to try as hard to save their lives. And that could be the furthest thing from the truth. So if anyone were to simply let you die or not give you the best medical care possible, they are essentially ruling you out as a potential donor. Everything would have needed to have been done to save your life in order to ensure that you even had the possibility of being an organ donor. So it's a lot of tough conversations to have with people, but they're necessary, the person, as I mentioned, she's waiting for that life-saving transplant. It means a lot to them. It means a lot to their family, to the people that love and care about them. So the more we can become comfortable thinking about these things, the more that we can start thinking what kind of legacy we want to leave for ourselves. The family members who have had a loved one who passed away, who their loved one is an organ donor, they talk about what a beautiful legacy their loved one was able to leave behind, knowing that in their death, they were able to save the lives of other people. So they're difficult conversations to have, but they're extremely, extremely needed.
I had a cousin that donated, a cousin that our family decided to donate, and I was glad they came up with that because I didn't really have to push them or anything. They came up with it themselves, and I was like, wow, I was proud. And at the time I didn't have a kidney, but I didn't even have the heart to say, oh, give me one or something like that. I didn't say anything like that because not only just because I loved her so much and she was young and it was unexpected. I even when people, sometimes you still don't know how to come up with this conversation. I remember, you got people to say, well, I can't do it because of my religion, or I can't do it because I heard you won't get into heaven if all the organs is not in there. And I had people say, I just can't, I'm not giving it up, or I don't like it, or it's wrong. And then you have some people that don't even know you and just give the kidney or any other part. I know I'm a donor myself if anything ever happened to me. And I had to tell my husband that, and I told my family, and I told them, now don't forget, don't forget, I thought I was going first. So I had no idea he would go first, but I'm like, don't forget, make sure you give the parts away. They don't give them the ones that don't work. Don't give them kidneys because the kidneys ain't gonna help nobody. Maybe they want that. Maybe science want those. But the other things, my eyes, I said, they ain't gonna be able to see that well, but at least they can see. You know what I mean? But I was laughing and joking, but really serious when it came to that. And I always, every time I went in the hospital, I told them, and I always put this thing on the refrigerator so my family could find stuff, so they don't be saying looking or fighting over stuff and all that crazy stuff. Because that's not right and that's not the time. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you able to have that conversation or work it out before it comes to that. Because when you go and the person is by the person's bedside, they crying, their eyes out and the tears, they can't even hear you. If you say, what are you thinking about? You got the pen. I don't know where my pen at, but you got the pen and everything up there. I don't know if they might knock it out your hand or turn the other way or start screaming or really think the person is coming back. Some people hold on, leave them on life support. No, he coming back. I know it. I feel it, And then, some people have been blessed and really came back, but you got others that didn't come back, So, you know what I mean? You do need to have the conversation before because it's too difficult to try to have it while tears are in their eyes. They're all broken up about it. You're trying to have a conversation. They just do not hear you or agree with you. They think you're being insensitive. You're a monster. You're terrible. What do you want to do? You know what I mean? So what again? Save it. I need my, whatever it is, a child or whatever, But I commend you, for doing this type of work. And for wanting to do it and stay in the trenches with it, stick with us now. Stick with us. You know what I'm saying? Stick with us.
Yeah, and I thank you for bringing up the part about religion as well. That's another thing that we hear when we talk to people about this issue. So the truth is when Moses and Jesus and Muhammad and Buddha, when these different religions were created, organ donation hadn't been invented yet, right? So when we talk about organ donation for transplantation, we're talking about really a very recent medical innovation. It really didn't become popular until about the late 1980s. And so what we've done is, we've talked with religious leaders. And so religious leaders have had to look at the text and to say, okay, this wasn't around when the text was created, but what evidence do we have to support this? And even in religions where they have very strict burial practices, you can't do anything to tamper with the body. You have to be buried by sundown, all of these things.
Oh, yes.
Even in those religions, the act of saving a life is held in such high esteem that that religious leaders have agreed that it is permissible. So in the vast majority of religions, everything from Judaism, Islam, Catholicism, religious leaders have said the act of saving a life is held in such high esteem that it is okay to give of your body and to make that donation after your death, because you are in fact giving life to others.
Wow. And it takes a lot, I guess, for them to say that or do that, because so many years you've heard this and had to deal with this. It was my archbishop and my husband that taught me even to going on the list. You know what I mean? So, and it even came to see me, he, my Archbishop Robert Joel Rochford, he came to see me, and his wife, Lady Pamela, came to see me as well in the hospital when I got the transplant. I like the fact that they give you a psychological test. They give you, they run the body down. They put you on that treadmill and all of this kind of stuff and take all your blood and, the heart and everything. Make sure you have every little checkup from head to toe, because they got to make sure your body sustain this thing and be able to take this kind of thing, and you be able to deal with it. Because, you see so many crazy pictures, and, I call it monster pictures, because that's what we used to call it. And we had people with parts, you say, oh, the part talking to me and all kind of weird stuff. So you don't know what's scaring a person or making them upset. I can't leave nobody else inside of me. It's bothering me. It can be done. Who knew? You know what I'm saying? Who knew? You know what I'm saying? So thank God that, some people, you just don't know. And sometimes, like you said, it's the true and false thing. They really need to know the truth. And you're here to state some facts. You know your history. I love that. You went to 1980. I said, woo, preach. I'm like, bring it on, sister. Bring it on. Take us there. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Well, what would you say your best success story, or one of your best success stories in doing this job? You know what I mean? Because, some people have the cases of a lifetime, bring tears to your eyes, whatever. But let us know. Tell us that.
There are so many beautiful stories that we hear. And the beauty of this type of donation, and I do want to, emphasize for people that we call it a donation for a reason. A lot of times, people in their hesitancy will say, it's taking something from someone who's passed away, or it's taking something from the family, but it is a donation. It's something that is given freely and willingly for the intention of saving other lives. And so it's the type of gifts that you give that really does keep giving. So, we've worked with people that, they got that kidney transplant when they were in their early 20s. And not only did it save their life, they were able to, continue living, get married, have children of their own. We have heard stories of, people who got to meet the donor family, the family member of the person who donated, let's say, a kidney, a liver, or a heart to that person. Sometimes people will name their children. after their donors to honor the legacy and the amazing gift of life that they were given. We work with a woman who she received a cornea transplant. She was going blind. And someone was generous enough to donate their eyes after their death. And so she was able to get a cornea transplant to restore her sight. And less than a year later, she was able to save her father's life by being a living liver donor to him. So there are so many beautiful stories of people who got that second chance, who got to see their children get married and to meet their grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
The stories are endless. And, I also want to highlight that the month of August is Multi-Ethnic Donor Awareness Month.
my next one, go ahead, girl.
Sorry, I beat you to it.
No, that's all right. No, I wanted you to say it.
Okay, so it is an entire month that's dedicated to raising awareness about this issue in multicultural communities, because we are the ones, especially in the New York City area, who make up the majority of the people waiting to shed light on this topic. And so, whereas we are the people who are make up most of the waiting list in terms of a single racial ethnic group, we are also the least likely to be willing to donate. And so part of raising awareness is to say, this is an opportunity to help the people that we know, right? So because this issue is so prevalent in our community, there aren't really that many degrees of separation that you need to go to in order to be connected to someone who's waiting. So it might be an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, a mother, a friend, a coworker. It's something that we don't really talk about that much, but it definitely is an issue in our community. And so it's really important, one, to share your story, because you never know, there may be someone who is, willing to be a living donor to you, but also through deceased donation. So we actually, we worked with a family. The son tragically died. And so they decided that he would be a donor, but his sister was on the waiting list. And he was actually able to save his sister's life because you can direct your gift to someone that you know if they're already on the waiting list. So she had been on the waiting list, and so the family was able to say, if they're a match, we'd like, the kidney, one of the kidneys to go to his sister. And so we were able to do that. So the more we speak about these things, the more people can help you. I know that can be difficult sometimes to be vulnerable enough to say, I need help, and then to ask for help. But as my grandmother always says, if you don't tell me what's wrong, I don't know what to pray for. So, and so, the more we talk about this, the more we give people the opportunity to step up and help. So tell your story. Let people know that, you're waiting for that gift of life. It may incentivize someone to consider donation when maybe they hadn't before.
That is so true. One of the things that I get excited about is that a person that didn't know anything about donation or anything, somebody they know got a transplant, whatever type of it was. And then it made them want to sometimes either give or donate, whether live or deceased. And it, like you said, the young lady was able to help somebody else. With one of them, it was a daughter and a father, I think.
Yes.
And you said that he got help and then she got help. Look how it trickled down from you doing something for somebody else. Some help came for you. You know what I mean? It went all the way around, So it came right back around. So I'm just glad that you know, that people are learning about this and understanding a little bit more to do a little bit more. I wish it was faster, but I'm just glad it's moving, because at one time it was at a standstill. So for not to be at a standstill, it's moving. It may be snailish, but it's moving. You know what I mean? It may be turtleish, but it's moving. You know what I mean? So we really want to get it to the to where it's really moving. You know, but all of this stuff helps. Telling your story, you know what I mean, and putting it out there, and things like that, and having these people, because you know what, people kind of believe stuff when they hear the story, or they know the person, or they know you, or you put it out there and they say, wow, you were talking about these people, I don't even know them, and my heart went out. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know what your testimony or story will touch or do. You know, that's why so many podcasts and shows out here now, you know, trying to really help so many people. And the list, you know, the list is long, and you got more people on the list than you have people to donate. And that's a hard issue too. But the people that's really ill is the ones more at the top of the list. You know what I mean? So wow, I'm telling you. Because of this job you do, in what way would you say this job has touched you?
Oh, wow. I'm always amazed through the work that I do, just how generous people can be. I'm always touched at people's generosity, especially the families of the donors. As you mentioned, you know, you've just lost a loved one. You know, for all intents and purposes, it's the darkest hour of your life. And even in all that grief, you know, people have the ability to say, but I still want to be generous, and I still want to extend kindness to others, even though I've lost so much.
Yes.
And I'm always amazed by that. I'm always so touched by that. The fact that families, you know, can make that decision and to go through with it. You know, sometimes someone, you know, they were already a registered donor, and so the family already knew what their wishes were. You know, but still a lot of times, you know, the family, you know, the person wasn't signed up. And so, you know, we asked the family, is this something that, you know, you would be interested in doing? And so, you know, the family thinks about, you know, what kind of person their loved one was. And, you know, we hear it over and over again. You know, my mother, my son, you know, they were the type of people, they would give you the shirt off their back if they could, you know. And they, if they had the opportunity to save someone else's life, I think that, you know, they would be happy for that opportunity. And so they make that decision.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably the thing that blows me away the most, that, you know, people in their darkest hour can still be a beacon of light to somebody else.
I know some young people have signed up and got involved. You know what I mean? I visit a lot of schools and try to do things in schools and colleges and stuff, but some of the people already had that idea to do, maybe because of somebody they lost or something they wanted to give back. And, you know, I don't, you know, they had to, of course, get the permission of their parents because they were teenagers. I'm like, wow, that was beautiful, heavy and deep, you know, all at once. You know, so wow, you know, so I was really impressed and blown away that the children would like to, you know, do that kind of thing, you know. But, you know, you do this job. Do you ever deal with the swap thing? You know, when the people have, you know, they're not compatible. Like my husband, he was a perfect match for me, even though I didn't get a chance to get his kidney. Did you have to, if we wasn't a match and you had to swap, you know, give one and give to the other, does this program do this as well?
Well, the swap is typically with living donation, and Live on New York, we work specifically with deceased donation. So helping people and families to carry out their final wishes to give the gift of life after they've passed away. Okay.
Yeah. You have to have everything to cover, you know, dealing with the living and dealing with the deceased. And some people deal with both. So I know you have to, you know, look and work with the registry as well concerning all of this. Do you what is your website? And
Yes.
yeah.
So absolutely. If you'd like to learn more information, our website is liveonny.org. So it's LIVEONNY.org.
Excellent. Any events coming up? Any virtual or in-person things coming up that you can mention?
Yes, absolutely. So on August 21st, it's a Saturday at 12 p.m. We have a webinar that we are hosting actually with your good friends at the Dennis Blige and Kidney Foundation. Yes. And so we're going to be hosting an information session with them, and it's specifically around kidney health. And if you are experiencing kidney failure, what you can do from there. So how to get registered on the registry, how to go about the process of trying to find a living donor, and then also just giving more information about deceased donation as well.
Wow.
So once again, that's happening on Saturday, August 21st, from 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. And it is through Zoom. And so I will be sure to get you that link so you can post it on your Facebook and in your YouTube description as well.
Wow. Thank you. Yes, Nishada is having something as well. She's a wonderful one of the hosts and have her own show and everything on urban health, and she's doing a whole telethon, and everything. And I'm gonna put some of that probably in the chat and everything like that, and we'll be announcing it, I guess, until it comes and everything. And she's just a hardworking woman. She ain't wrong at all. 1,000 lives or something. I don't have her stuff in front of me, but when you said that, I remember her event coming up as well and stuff like that. And so many, did we forget anything? Is there anything you want to mention before I ask you my two last questions? Your shout out and somebody that you can encourage that may be waiting on the list or want a job like yours. What can you say to encourage somebody like that?
Sure. So a couple of things. So another way to find out different events that are happening with Live On New York and different information sessions that you can get in touch with. You can visit our website once again, liveonny.org, and go to our events page. And you'll find other learning and information opportunities there. And to all of you out there who may be on the transplant waiting list, I know it's tough. The waiting, not knowing, if that match is going to come. In the state of New York, there are a little more than 9,000 people on the transplant waiting list, but we do have one of the lowest registration rates for donors in the country. And so it's not unusual for people to have to wait extended wait times to receive, the organ that's really going to save their life. So I just want you to know that we are really working hard. We are out there in the community. We're talking to people. We're raising awareness. We want to get you that second chance at life. We want to see you succeed and live a very rich and fulfilling life, not only for yourself, but for everyone who loves you. And to anyone else who's listening that may not be on the waiting list, you may be the answer to someone's prayer. And so hopefully not today or tomorrow, but by signing up to be an organ donor, you may be the answer to someone's prayer, the angel that gave them the gift of life. It's an amazing opportunity to honor your memory, to honor your legacy. And so even if you don't sign up to be an organ donor, I do encourage you to talk with your family and let them know what your wishes are.
Yeah.
It's an amazing, amazing opportunity. And trust me when I say the person who receives who receives that gift, they will never stop thanking you.
Absolutely.
For giving them that chance. Lisa, you know more than anyone, what it means to be able to get back to your life. Being on dialysis 3 times a week is no way to live. So it means a lot.
You got to do what you got to do, but I tell you, it can be rough. And thank God for the donation with the people that get in. Thank God for the ones that's still thriving on dialysis and the ones waiting in the trenches. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Just to you. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I want to give a shout out to all of our amazing community partners who are helping us to get the word out and giving us opportunities to talk to people. You're doing God's work and allowing us to save lives. So thank you.
Well, your mom too. Your mom came into town. So welcome, Mom, to New York.
My niece just turned 2, so my mom's in town for the birthday party. She lives in Florida now. So yeah, shout out to my mom. Hi, Diane.
The last thing I want to thank you for is the fact that when you and I were supposed to give out the Live on New York mask, you were so concerned and worried about me, and we were making plans. You stopped me in my tracks and said, listen, you had a transplant. I can do it without you. I wanted to work with you out there, but I'm more worried about your safety, and that like really touched my heart. So I wanted to say thank you to you. I mean, I told the whole team at Rise Up, she wanted to save me or whatever, my family and everything. So thank you. And, you talked to me about antibodies and COVID and the whole thing. So I just want to say thank you. And I do appreciate you. And I look forward to continue to work with you in the community of New York all together. Okay.
Same here. Thank you so much. You are such a blessing.
Well, bless your life and thank you. And keep doing the great work. I'm very proud of you. I appreciate you. Thank you. God bless.
Bless.
See, guys, you've heard it. Woo, was that a story or was that a story? I'll tell you, there's people out there that love and care about you and want you to get that organ, whatever type of organ it is. And I'm going to close off the show because it's been more than time, and I'm making you laugh with all the tags and IDs I've had that I've worked with. And continue to pray for my sister in the hospital. She had 2 strokes. She's a 24-year kidney warrior. So you pray for her. She wrote 7 books, but I'm just holding up 2 of them, and they were very good books. Modern Day Wilderness Experience and Rejected, but Accepted by Him, Accepted by God. How about that? In this thing, you need your faith walk, and you need your whole family and community. Well, thank you, and V for victory. Good night. I love you. We down to 3 more shows after this. Pray for us. I will miss you, but I thank God for you. Good night. Mwah.
Y'all ready for this? Yeah.
My girl, and say, this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. My girl, and say, this is.
My guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Cold, these brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, 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 ride or die.